Hi, I'm Jordan. That's Steven. And welcome to the Off Topic Movie Podcast, where we go off topic really fast. And we talk about movie news sometimes. So Steven, what did you watch this week?
I watched An American Werewolf in London for the first time.
For the first time.
First time ever.
What'd you think of
It
that?
has been on my list of shame for a very long time. Well, up until I watched it recently. I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was very electrifying to watch. It was a fun watch. The only scene, the only thing I really knew about it, the scene I knew about it was, of course, the transformation scene. And that put into context is intense.
Hmm.
And then, of course, it is October 4th. So, and last week of September up until now, and probably through all of October, I've been watching horror movies. So I watched, since the last time I watched Jeepers Creepers, Jeepers Creepers 2. I watched Angst last night. I watched the Hills Have Eyes remake. The thing that stands out of all of those, Hills Have the Hills Have Eyes remake is probably that director's best movie. He made High Tension. That was like his directorial debut. That's how he broke out, the French movie. And then he has made Crawl since then, and he's made Horns. But I think this is his best movie. I didn't really care for Crawl that much.
Stream me
And then
Piranha
Jeepers
3D.
Creepers. Oh, right. That
Are
too.
you sure that's not his best movie?
Well, I haven't seen that one. So,
Yeah, you're probably better off.
yeah. So, um, yeah. So the ones I really enjoyed most were Jeepers Creepers, which is the 20 billionth time that I've rewatched that. An American Werewolf in London, and then The Hills Have Eyes. I did not like Angst very much at all. Not at all. Not
I
one
don't know
bit.
what that is.
It's a German movie, or it's like it is the
It's
most
old.
what?
Is it like an 80s movie? Is that what I'm thinking of?
Yeah, it's
It's
the
Austrian.
Austrian.
Hmm.
So it's an Austrian movie, and it's pretty much the most realistic showing or movie about a serial killer. And so yeah, there's that. There's just like no style,
It was like,
no anything. It's just like bare bones
yeah, that's one where
and
it's like
killing people and dragging
banned.
them around.
It got banned in like Europe for extreme violence or whatever.
Yeah,
Uh,
and it's on Shutter, and they had a warning before, and I was like, oh, something crazy is about to happen. And then it wasn't that crazy. It
it's
wasn't.
crazy for 1980s, but it's not really
Yeah,
for.
yeah. It was more. I don't know. It seemed there's a filmmaker Gasper Noé. Gasper No, I think is his actually name. Actually his name. He made the Funny Games remake,
Hmm.
and then he made some movie recently where it's like a whole bunch of people on LSD and like a whole bunch of drugs, and they're all drugged and they're like dancing around and all that stuff. I don't think he's a good filmmaker, but he said that this movie, he said that this movie was one of his is a movie that he really loves. So yeah, I yeah, I didn't like that movie at all. It wasn't like it wasn't entertaining to watch. It wasn't particularly disturbing, even though it might have been trying to be. It was just like a lot of voiceover of this guy, and this guy like trying to talk, like voiceover of this guy. He's like, "Oh, I should kill them. Maybe I should kill them. I think I'll kill them this way." Uh, yeah, I'm not. not going to go any further about it. I've talked about it
Hey, it was
too much
groundbreaking for
already.
the time, but now, yeah, it seems like a pretty student-like idea for a film. But
Yeah. What did you watch this week, Jordan?
so only a few things of real interest. Speaking of werewolf movies, I watched The Howling for the first time.
Oh wow, that's on my list. I haven't watched that at all.
Yeah, uh, I
What
like
did you
it,
think?
I guess. I don't think it's as good as American Werewolf in London, but I think that it's not going for the same type of horror that American Werewolf in London is. Because American Werewolf in London is funny, but The Howling is clearly like just supposed to be a scary horror movie. And
See, I didn't think that it was. I didn't think American Werewolf in London was funny to me. I mean, there are some parts that are like. I mean, they weren't like laugh out loud funny.
yeah, well,
Like there's things that are
obviously
like
it's like black
light-hearted. I
black
mean, not
comedy,
light-hearted. Yeah, I
like
guess.
when he's a
But
corpse talking to him. Spoilers. When he's a corpse talking to him and stuff, it's like I guess that's supposed to
see,
be
I didn't think that
funny.
was funny.
Yeah.
From what I was, what I talked, I did a podcast episode on that movie, and what I talked about is it seemed like the guy talking to him and like kind of haunting him was like a metaphor for survivor's guilt
Hmm.
because his spoiler, his friend dies in the movie and then comes back to basically haunt him and tell him like he's this is what's gonna happen to him, so beware of that. And like he like can't get away from it and like haunts him and yeah. So I was like, oh, this is kind of depressing because it's like the memory of his friend is just won't leave him alone.
Which is funny that you say that it wasn't funny because or you didn't find it funny because I'm pretty sure the producers or the people who financed the film or whatever said that John Landis's script was too funny to be a horror movie when he wanted to make it like in the 60s.
Huh.
So
I'd be
apparently
interested to
they
see
thought
what
it was
that
funny.
script is.
So I wonder
I,
if he made it less funny over time as he was writing it, because this didn't come out for like a decade. Like he wrote the first draft in like 1970 or something, and then it got
yeah,
shelved for a decade. But speaking of The Howling, there's definitely no comedy. It's definitely I like the premise. My type of horror is definitely more The Howling than American Werewolf in London. Um,
hmm.
the basic premise is a guy wants to know why. I don't want to spoil it. I don't know a good way to say it. There are
Oh,
werewolves,
oh,
and it's crazy. It's a good movie. It's definitely more scary. I'm tired. What's the word I'm looking for?
it's scarier.
It's scarier than American Werewolf in London. It's also getting a remake by the guy that directed it. So
Oh, The Howling.
yeah, it's getting a remake
And then
for Netflix.
like I talked about on the podcast I did, American Werewolf in London a couple years ago got announced that the director's son, Max Landis, who wrote like Chronicle, he wrote Bright,
Max Landis
amongst
is not a good person, but go on.
yeah, apparently he's not a good person. So he was attached to write and direct a remake of his dad's movie, which I thought was interesting because I don't see anything in his material that would really make him be a candidate for that movie. Other other than the fact that he's the original
Yeah,
director's son, I don't see why anyone would consider him for the project. And then, but then I think about Ghostbusters Afterlife and how that is going to be directed by the original Ghostbusters director's son, Jason Reitman. Uh, and he's like actually a good filmmaker. And
yeah. Max Landis has written. He wrote Bright. He wrote like you said, Chronicle. He wrote American Ultra, which I don't think is that good. He wrote Victor Frankenstein. So
Right, Victor Frankenstein. I forgot about that one. Wow.
so he doesn't have uh his writing credits are pretty bad.
Well, let's go back. Do you think that The Howling is in need of a remake, or do you think that it would lend itself to a modern remake?
Yes, I
Because
think that
I don't think.
I think The Howling would definitely it works better. It would work better as a remake than American Werewolf in London would,
Yeah, I think the same thing for American Werewolf in London. But I'll
because
have to watch The Howling.
The Howling takes place in like a mountain resort and stuff. So
Okay.
it's definitely more, yeah, it definitely fits the remake category better. And I'm excited to see what that director can do with that because I liked it part one. Part two is okay, but
See, I liked the second one better than the first one. But he's gonna do the Flash before that, I believe.
mm-hmm. Which is weird,
No,
but
Andy Muschietti. I don't know. His career for me is I don't know because I didn't like Mama very much. I like the short film more than
I like Jessica Chastain. What is it, Chastain or
Chastain.
Chastain in Mama? But yeah, I didn't think it was too good.
It was all right.
Yeah, but
I didn't like it the first one. I gave that like a 4 out of 10.
really,
Yeah, it was. God, I mean, we can get into it. I'll just briefly say it was just more. It was just a whole bunch of kids cursing and not really any
uh,
horror. It was the horror was played up to the screen. It was like the kids would see something and then it would be like a close up and then it would be like Pennywise, a close up of Pennywise like staring into the camera and making a scary face and like it was just like a whole bunch of jump scares and like playing to the villain was playing to the camera. It seemed like the camera was supposed to be there.
I see the first Ed, or not the very first Ed, but at Chapter One as more of like a Stand by Me type of movie, a kid adventure. I don't necessarily see it as a horror film. I mean, it's got horror elements, obviously. Obviously,
It just seemed very like immature to me. The movie,
I think that's kind of the
the
point.
filmmaking of it itself was immature.
You think Chapter Two
Not
did it
not
better?
just wait, what was that?
You think Ed Chapter Two did it better?
I think It Chapter Two is a better horror movie, and it's a better movie in general.
I
But then I also think I think there would have could have been better directors for it. Like originally, like we'll talk about this later. Uh, No Time to Die. That director Cary
well,
Fukunaga, he
yeah.
was
I
originally going to
mm,
do it, and I was super excited about that
did you read
project.
that original script?
I
Yeah, it's
did.
pretty. I don't think Stephen King would have liked him directing it, but
I mean, he didn't like Kubrick directing The Shining either, though.
yeah.
So
Well,
I mean, and
have
then
you read The
also, I
Shining?
mean, I was gonna say, and then also like Stephen King is a crazy person who wrote like a child orgy into his book.
I
So
got a
I mean,
point.
who cares what that guy thinks anyway?
Well, I mean, I don't. He's not a bad guy or
I
anything.
mean, I'm not saying he's a bad guy or like a pedophile or anything. I'm just saying like, and then he's like going on the record of like being like, oh yeah, I was on drugs when I wrote this
Maximum
when I wrote this
Overdrive
book,
is literally the
and you guys
best.
paid for it.
He directed Maximum Overdrive and is the best film ever made. So I don't really think your argument stands here, dude.
Ooh,
You ever seen
Maximum
Maximum
Overdrive
Overdrive?
is the no, I haven't,
Wow.
but I know it's not the best movie ever made.
I don't even think it's a movie. It's just a
Oh,
collection of scenes.
okay. So see, that's what I'm saying. He's just like I don't know.
He was high on cocaine or something when he directed that.
When
But
he
anyway,
directed it, oh
yeah,
my gosh.
he admitted to that.
See, oh my gosh, and that's probably why he didn't direct another movie.
Well,
I mean,
yeah.
he probably. I mean, uh,
Be fair,
might.
he's like a millionaire off of books already. So what does he need to direct
Yeah.
movies for?
So why did he?
I don't know. This was like in the '80s, wasn't it? Either
Yeah,
way,
he was still make.
his books are good. Like I don't think I've ever read
No,
a
no,
bad
no, no.
Stephen King
I
book.
don't. I'm
I
not
think
knocking his books.
I think he gets horror. I just don't think he understands how to translate it to the screen or how it should
Mm.
translate to the screen. But he did like The Mist, so
See, that's what I'm saying. It's like, why should we care about his feelings on the adaptations of his books when it's like those things should stand alone? They're different mediums, so they should stand alone on their own. It's like Stephen King would have directed The Shining differently than Stanley Kubrick would. They're both different directors, and Stephen King knows books, and I mean, he is an author first, and
mhm.
Stanley Kubrick was a director. I would love to have seen if Stephen King had made Doctor Sleep like how Mike Flanagan did. I would be like kissing his feet right now because Doctor Sleep is amazing, but he couldn't have done that. So it's like, why do we care whether the books are this is a whole like different conversation. It's like, why do we care? But the books and the movies should stand alone on their own.
I agree. That's I don't understand why people or why he got upset at The Shining because it's not like it somehow hurt his book, but
Right. It probably helped it, if anything. I mean,
yeah,
people watch The Shining and want to pick up the book.
did I don't think Doctor Sleep did well in theaters, did it? That's a different
It
subject,
didn't.
but
It was. See, we're already off topic, but no, it didn't. It was that year's. It was 2019's Blade Runner 2049 because it was a sequel
mhm.
to a very old movie coming out now that critics loved. The people who saw it loved it, and it was very well made. A very good sequel to those respective movies, but just a lot of people didn't go see it, and I don't know if that. I mean, Blade Runner 2049. I feel like general audiences just didn't know about. I mean, I feel like people like us
What
know
is a
like
Blade Runner?
Blade Runner. Yeah, we know like Blade Runner. We've seen him before and stuff like that. But I mean, if I ask my mom what Blade Runner is, she's gonna be like, I don't know what that is. Is that a book? Is that a movie? Is that a person? Is it a what is it? So, and then like Doctor Sleep. I don't. If they had called it The Shining 2, I don't know if that would have helped it or hurt it even more.
Probably would have helped it because people would have been like, "Oh, it's a sequel." Like a lot of people haven't seen The Shining, but they know what The Shining is.
Right. Oh no, I mean, I feel like people have seen The Shining more. More people have seen The Shining than people have seen Blade Runner.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Blade Runner is a very long and if you're not into cyberpunk or sci-fi, boring movie. Like
But yeah, and I think yeah, yeah. I don't know. I think, but then also it's like they would have called it The Shining 2, Doctor Sleep, and then people would have been like, "What is this?"
plus Blade Runner wasn't popular when it came out in the first place, and it has like
Right.
50 different editions and cuts. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's what I thought. Think of The Howling. So, another movie I wanted to, or not movie, but show that I want to talk about. It's on Hulu that I watched this week. I watched the first two episodes. It's called Monsterland. It's an
Oh,
anthology series, and it's super well rounded. Um, I don't think a lot of people even know it exists.
would you recommend it?
Absolutely, especially for someone like you. Yeah, definitely. Like, it's just I I don't
I
know.
think when it came out, I'm pretty sure I saw the trailer for it, but I just didn't know when. I didn't remember when it was going to come out. Oh wow, I'm looking at some of the directors for this. Oh yeah, I remember being on this page before. I see. I see. Yeah, I remember being on this page before. Um,
I, well, I'm gonna say that I did like the first episode. I thought the second one was a step up from the first. I thought the first was pretty disappointing. I almost stopped watching because of it, but I really liked the second episode. So
it's
I
funny because on IMDb, the score for the first one is higher than the second one.
really, hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, I
But
definitely give it a
also
chance.
the I like the director of the second one. He made this movie called Super Dark Times, and the guy that is in uh is in that episode. He was in that movie as well, I believe.
I
So
don't
you
know.
should check out that work by him.
Definitely. Uh, Definitely watch it if you're a fan. Maybe I'm thinking of the first episode that I really liked, and the second one I didn't. Either way, point is, if you're in that anthology series, like the classic Halloween series, which is an anthology, um, definitely give it a check if you have Hulu. Hulu
Hmm.
free? I keep thinking Hulu's
Hulu's
free.
not free.
I like there's a I think I'm thinking of the fact that you can pay for a version that still has ads or something. Or you
Right, yeah, there's like a premium
yeah,
version where you don't have ads.
Hulu is not free.
That's the name of the episode.
Hulu is not free. But that's basically all I watched this week. I started watching the Halloween series again, even though I'm gonna watch it like 40 other times this month. But I don't know if everybody wants my recap of Halloween 1 through H2O. So
Yeah, have you watched all of those this week?
yeah,
Oof. Wow.
I like Halloween 4 and
You're like, I like
yeah,
Halloween.
because I was for some reason gonna say I like Halloween 5, but it was like that's a lie. Like I don't know, man. What it's not even a hit or miss series. It's a you like it or you don't.
Right.
Because a lot of them just aren't good, obviously.
Wait, what order did you watch them in? Did you watch,
Am I supposed to?
have you
Is
watched
there?
the remake?
Well,
I
no,
mean, not the remake, the 2018.
no. I do. You do the Thorn trilogy or whatever first, right? And then I like release order basically. Man, this is like when you talk about
This is like
Star
Star
Wars.
Wars. Yeah.
Yeah, like you do. You can skip three if you want. I mean, I didn't watch three because I watched it super recently. But you watch one, two, four, five, six. Then you watch. I mean, you can rewatch one and two if you want, but I generally you go to H2O. I watched Resurrection, unfortunately,
Mhm.
uh, and then after that you go to Rob Zombie remakes, and then I'm gonna go to 2018. Is
See,
how
I would be
what? What
interested in watching the first one, the first original John Carpenter, and then the David Gordon Green one,
yeah.
and then the best sequel, and out of all of them, the Rob Zombie Halloween 2.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. Is Halloween 2 even
No, but I
really
think
a remake of Halloween 2 at that point?
it's not.
Yeah,
It's not. I
it's
see. I think it would. I think it genuinely would be interesting to see Halloween and then Halloween 2, as if there are no. I mean,
Halloween and then
David Gordon
Halloween.
Green. Yeah, because I watched. Hey, yeah, wait, yeah, I forgot. I watched. I showed Brian Halloween. You know Brian Rucky.
Yeah,
Hope he's listening right now.
big dope.
I showed him. I watched Halloween with him recently, and then he like didn't really like it, and I was like, well, this is like the slasher that started like all the slashers and whatever, and he was like, yeah, but like there's problems, and I was like, fair. So and then I was like, okay, well, I wonder what he would think of the David Gordon Green Halloween, because he never saw John Carpenter's Halloween till I showed it to him. So I wonder if him not knowing what comes next, all of the lore and all of that stuff, if watching David
Ooh,
Gordon Green's, what
yeah.
that, yeah, I know. I was like, oh, with fresh eyes, I wonder what he's going to think.
Mm. I gave Brian my number like a year ago when I saw him at my university, and he never called or anything. So
Rip, rip. So
it's
hopefully he's not
fine.
listening right now.
Fine, I forgot
Oh, I
to.
mean, he's definitely not
I
listening
forgot.
right now.
Yeah, I forgot that I had his number too. But
Oof. Well, there you go.
we saw each
You just
other
outed
once.
yourself on your own
Yeah,
podcast.
we saw each other once, and we were like super happy to see each other, and then we just both immediately forgot. So, Brian, if you're listening, let's watch Halloween 2018 at Steven's house, even though
Oof.
his girlfriend won't let us in.
Yeah, my fiance will spray you with Lysol in the face.
That's fine. I'm not. I like drink hand sanitizer, dude. Like it's fine.
We should just get a projector. Well, I have a projector, but we should just. I'll come to your house. We'll
My
hook up.
house.
Yeah, in your backyard. We'll hook up the projector, and then we'll play it on the outside of your house.
If we do that at night, it'd be really
Yeah,
scary.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
You know where I live, so
I do know where you live.
yeah, that's all right. Is that a threat?
His address is
No. Nobody's gonna see it anyway besides Bob Iger. So
Bob Iger, your professor, and Ridley Scott.
yeah. Ridley Scott, that's new.
Yeah, I just added him in.
He directed Alien.
No, he directed Alien 3.
Oh my god. I watched Alien recently. I haven't seen it in a
Did you
long
really?
time. Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, I've seen it before, but I mean, is Alien better than Aliens? What is your opinion on that?
Yes.
A
Yes,
better
it
horror
is.
movie, yes. A better movie overall? I don't know.
I think so. I think Halloween. I mean, Halloween. I think Alien is perfect 10 out of 10, and then I think Aliens, if anything, it's I don't know. It's a 9 out of 10. It's like the Alien franchise and the Scream franchise to me are pretty much the same. It's you watch the first one and you watch the second one, and the rest don't exist.
Alien 3 could have been good, but yeah, I agree with that. I think that Aliens is more popular than Alien.
Aliens is more popular because
Mhm.
people love to say like James Cameron is the best, and he came into the room, he wrote alien on the whiteboard, and then he put a dollar sign behind it in the form of an S. So they were
Yeah.
like, pew 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 pew, let's fucking make a movie, and
I
then they
mean,
did.
Aliens is just, it's got a lot of really cool concepts that I think are like extremely cool. Like all of the action scenes in that movie are just so cool to me.
Hmm.
Like the
I don't know.
tracking gun and
Maybe I
the
should watch it.
turrets, the beeping.
Maybe I
Uh,
should watch it again recently. I mean, watch it again because I think I may have watched it twice. I watched it while I was at Radford. It was playing at the Lyric in Blacksburg. I watched it in theaters for the first time, which is how I would love to see most movies on my like list of shame that I haven't seen. Like American Werewolf in London. If I had heard that was playing at a drive-in or something like that, I would drive wherever I could to see that.
you ever played
Um,
Alien Isolation?
no, but I hear that's a good video game.
Yeah, we should. Are you doing anything this Halloween?
Am I doing what?
Are you doing anything this Halloween? We should
I am. I'm gonna be out of town.
be out of town.
Yep.
What does that have to do with Halloween? Where are you going?
I may
What,
or
what?
may not be on the set of the next Halloween. No, I'm kidding. That's not what's gonna happen.
Yeah, the one they already filmed.
Well, they have another one.
Yeah, Rob Zombie's Halloween 3.
Yeah, I'm gonna be on the set for that one. Rob Zombie wants me to
What's
be
the
a
exact
DP.
address you're going to this Halloween? Uh,
It is 1978 Haddonfield Drive.
oh my god. Anyway,
We have trailers to talk about. We should probably talk about those. Probably like 30 minutes into this podcast, and haven't even talked
I
about a
thought we
single
did
item of
news
movie news.
first. Wait, no, you're right. We do trailer. Whose podcast is this?
I don't know. Who cares? So let's talk about. You want to talk about Cobra Kai season 3 announcement trailer? I don't because I haven't seen the show. So
Cobra
you
Kai is
talk about
good.
it.
Uh, Go watch Cobra Kai on Netflix. Give them the views so we get season 5 after season 4. That's all I need to say.
They got wait, whoa. Way ahead of yourself there.
Am I?
Yeah, Cobra Kai got renewed for season 4. That's in
Yeah.
the news that we were going to talk about
We can
later.
skip it in the
So
news then. There you go.
yeah, great, perfect. Two birds, one
Yeah,
stone. What did you think of the
exactly.
Monster Hunter trailer?
Oh man. Yeah, that's exactly what Monster Hunter's like. I remember the good times of riding my Humvee around and gunning down Black Diablos with my minigun. No, that's here's what I'll say about it. As you as someone who has never even heard of Monster Hunter probably.
Wow.
Have you ever played or heard of Monster Hunter?
No, I haven't, but I hate how you just assumed that
Because I
I
know
hadn't. It's fucked up.
it's not a horror game, so why would you?
Wow.
Listen,
Wow. Way to fucking typecast me, dude.
listen.
Shit.
If you want to play Monster Hunter later, we can. You have a
Well,
PS4.
I do have a PS4.
We can play some
Continue,
Monster Hunter World.
continue.
I'm just
Uh,
saying.
Buy it for me.
Listen, they have the design of Black Diablos looks exactly like the game, so I'm happy with that. I'm happy they're not doing the Resident Evil thing where they ruin it, the designs of their monsters. But anyone who knows Monster Hunter knows that Monster Hunter takes place in like a post-apocalyptic uh thing place
Well, they're
world.
in the desert.
Wow, there's a desert in Monster Hunter world. It, basically, it takes place in post. This is lore, but it's like the hunters. They're like superhumans, and they carry big bone weapons and like big
Yeah,
metal swords. And
they have giant bone weapons in the production still that they released
was it
and
a
in the
giant bone
poster.
weapon, or was it a bone weapon I gave to Party City, dude? I'll let you
Well,
answer that.
look at the poster for Monster Hunter. There's a giant bone weapon in that poster that
Listen,
Mila Jovovich is holding. Anyway, I like that Ti is in this movie, so I think it'll be great.
the only other
But also,
movie I
in all
remember.
seriousness, this is also directed by the guy who directed Mortal Kombat, the original movie, and then he directed
Every
Resident
Resident
all of
Evil
like
movie.
all of the Resident Evil movies, yes, and then like Alien versus
Have
Predator.
you seen the Resident Evil movies?
I think
You've seen the first two or three, and that's it. I
I
guarantee
think
it.
I might have seen some of the first one, and then I turned it off. This was a while ago though, and then I actually watched Event Horizon recently. That was all right.
I feel like he
That's
made that
probably
by
looks like
accident. I
I was
don't
gonna say it
know.
looks like it's the best movie, but then also apparently there was like some studio meddling, and he was gonna make it a lot more disturbing, and there was gonna be like rape in it, and all of that got cut.
But would that have made it a good
So
movie?
probably not. But I'm saying like the director's cut of that movie is probably garbage, like most of his movies. I
Yeah,
really hope Paul W.S. Anderson isn't
Anderson.
listening to this.
I mean, I feel like yeah, the studio meddled
I
in
love.
Event Horizon, but I feel like they were attempting to make it better. I don't think that was like, oh man, this is.
No. I
I know.
agree. I
Yeah,
agree.
they took out gore. I get it, but like, I
They
think
took out
that
unnecessary gore because there's still gore in there.
yeah, I don't think like I get it's like a Warhammer type universe thing where oh it's grim dark and it's terrible, but like I feel like they did the best they could with what they had.
Yeah.
But I do like the idea of Event Horizon. I just think that I personally could have directed it better if they'd asked me in 1997 when I was 1 year old. So
Well, I think wow, you're aging yourself.
yeah,
I think that I don't know. I mean, yes, it could have been a lot better, and it's basically an alien ripoff, but
without
with
the
like
aliens.
one more interesting, yeah, and with one more interesting concept in there of like hell is a place, and they were going to go there, but then they just didn't somehow. And I was like, yeah, we're going to hell. This is interesting, cool. And then they were just like,
That's where you're yelling
nah.
at Satan when he's dragging you down.
Oof, this is something that's gonna be played at the white pearly gates for me. My guy.
yeah. Yeah, we're
They're
going to hell. This is gonna be
yeah,
interesting.
yeah. No, they're gonna at the pearly gates. God's just gonna be like, "Hey, you remember when you said this?" And then he's I'm gonna be like, "Oh no, I don't."
And then he's gonna be like, "Does it
Sure, that's
suck
me.
that all the gore got taken out of Event Horizon?" You're like, "What?"
And then he's gonna hit a button, and I'll just drop straight to hell.
But it's Sam Neill in it. He was in Jurassic Park. He's a good
Sam
actor.
Neill's in. I thought you were talking about Monster Hunter.
No,
Thought
that'd
we
be
were
crazy.
going back on
Well,
him.
yeah,
Wow, that'd be crazy.
Monster Hunter has
Going on
literally
topic.
just the Resident Evil people in it. Like I don't know, man.
It has Tony Jaa.
Wow, he's like the MMA
I'm
fighter or
back.
whatever, dude.
MMA
You can
fighter.
MMA some fucking monsters, man. Listen,
No, he's
all I'm
not.
saying is that Monster Hunter is literally a game with basically no story, where you go around beating up monsters that are hurting the environment. And I don't know how they're going to translate that into a film, but it's pretty clear that it's like,
I don't think that they are, is the thing. I
yeah,
think it's just going to be giant monsters. Mila Jovovich is it's just going to be Resident Evil all over again. It's the same team, same director.
it's
It's the
just
same team all the way around. It's going to be Resident Evil. Besides, they're in a desert and with bone weapons, and maybe the monsters are different. I don't know because
is
I've never
Capcom
finished
is Cap
any of
why
them.
doesn't Capcom say anything? Well, they go, this is not good. Like, don't do this.
Probably
Like,
because they want money.
Capcom makes money off of good video games. I
Do
don't
they
know.
still put out video games?
Yeah, Capcom has made some bangers in the last few years. Monster Hunter World for one. Resident Evil 7. You ever played Resident Evil 7?
Oh yeah. That is them. Wow.
Yeah,
Huh, forgot
Resident
about
Evil
that.
2 remake. Yeah, they brought it back. They basically saved their own company in the past few years. They're not doing it with this, but uh, yeah, I don't know. I don't. I highly doubt that anyone at Capcom actually like the Resident Evil movies. They probably just went, these are making us a lot of money.
Probably. Let's go a little bit off topic again.
Okay.
What are some video games that you would like to see adapted into movies?
Resident Evil 7 for one, like a good
All
Resident.
right, let's move on.
No, look. There is so much untapped potential in the Resident Evil series that is clearly not in the movies. Like, you personally, you need to play like Resident Evil 2 remake and Resident Evil 7 because those are right up
Resident
your
Evil
alley.
7, isn't that the one with the swamp?
Yeah, it's first
Okay.
person, not third
Yeah.
person. Yeah.
Yeah.
Other video games that aren't that though, that could be banned into, like, what are you specifically looking for here? Like
That is
action
what I'm asking you.
movies. Um, I think Mass Effect could be a good movie series.
Mm.
You ever played Mass Effect?
Nope.
You've never played Mass Effect? Wow. You should definitely play through all three Mass Effects and then come back and tell me what you thought. Because
This whole podcast is just you
not
and I
sponsored by Mass
recommend.
Effect.
It's just you and I recommending things to each other
Well, yeah. I mean,
that we're never gonna watch or play.
the suit's never gonna play Monster Hunter.
I'm broke.
Um,
It's a pandemic. Let's move on.
since when?
Um, what do you mean?
It's sarcasm.
Am I broke or I've been broke forever and there's been a pandemic forever? Let's move on to The Witches. Robert Zemeckis directed a remake of The Witches, or an adaptation of another adaptation of Roald Dahl's book, The Witches.
If I told you I didn't know anything about this, would you believe me?
Did you watch the original Witches that came
No,
out in like 1990? Yeah, 1990.
no, but I've seen Twitches.
I have seen Twitches as well. I don't know why Robert Zemeckis is. I mean, I know why. He probably wants money and he wants to make another hit, but I don't know. This trailer's not really doing it for me.
Same.
I like the original Witches, but I think that might be because I watched it as a kid. But I did rewatch it recently, and there's like puppets and stuff, and of course, this is just they took all the puppets out, and it's just
How could they?
CGI. Yeah.
What is this? Who
What is
Framed Roger Rabbit?
Anne Hathaway's just like floating in the air. There's like no scary makeup or prosthetics or anything like in the original. It's just like CGI. Her face
It's
turns
not
into
Pan's Labyrinth, man. It's
yeah. I don't know.
the witches.
This is what I don't. What I've seen in this trailer is what I don't like in Hollywood remakes. I mean, Robert Zemeckis could have not been going for a straight remake of the 1990 movie, and he could have just been going for his own adaptation of the book. But from what I remember of the 1990 movie, some of the stuff looks like ripped straight out of it. Besides, they CGI like
Well,
shots
the
look
difference
exactly the
between
same.
the 1990 movie and this remake is the 1990 movie had Jim Henson, a master of puppets. Rest in peace. And it's just practical stuff. Just looks better to me than CGI. So
Yeah.
I don't really see this movie living up. I've only seen bits and pieces of the original, but the makeup for the witches or goblins or whatever you want to call them are it's pretty good. It's pretty scary, and CGI nothing CGI is ever scary. I don't know, man. Like,
Yeah, no, I don't think so either. And that's going back to what we said, what I said earlier. That's why the It remake chapter one didn't really do it for me. But I'm looking at IMDb right now, and it says that this is basically a remake. It says in the writing credits that it's based off of the 1990 movie or
it's
the
not based off the
1990
book.
screenplay. No, it's not based off of the book. The original 1990 movie that was adapted from the book, and then this is basically just a remake of. They probably just sat down with the screenplay from the 1991, and then just like did a couple things to update it, and yeah, pretty much it.
Extremely weird that they're doing that. Uh,
Guillermo del Toro is a writer, has a writing credit on this screenplay.
really?
So does one of the writers from, or the creator of Blackish
Did
and Girls Trip.
did you work on the original?
Who?
Guillermo?
Guillermo? No.
Yeah. Hmm. Okay. So they did change some stuff then, I'm guessing.
I feel like maybe Guillermo was attached to. This is just speculation
This
right
seems
now.
like something he would direct, but yeah.
Yeah, it seems like something he would have directed. Besides, it would have been his weird little spin on it. But now Robert Zemeckis is doing it, so it's kind of just like a broad family movie, kind of for everyone. Not really any kind of style
Yeah, this doesn't look
like
like.
Guillermo would have brought to it. You know what I mean?
I feel like the 1990s version was like child horror, like
Yeah, no, it
dark
was.
fantasy, dark fantasy. That's what I'm looking
the
for.
the director of the 1990s movie, he directed a lot of horror movies back in the day. Like
Hmm.
he directed Don't Look Now. Have you seen that movie?
Don't know. That sounds really familiar.
It's a famous horror movie.
Is it?
I mean, it's not famous, but it
Hey,
is
if I
well
don't know it,
liked.
it's not famous. All right.
It is. It's well liked. It is a well liked horror
Yeah,
movie,
I don't doubt it.
critically acclaimed. So yeah, this was kind of like child horror back in the day, like dark
Hmm.
fantasy kind
Dark
of thing.
fantasy.
And it's like, I guess maybe it's in the realm of like other like Labyrinth, like Jim Henson
Hmm.
Labyrinth, maybe like it's kind of the same cinematic universe. But anyway,
A Jim
my point is,
Henson cinematic universe, baby. Hell yeah.
yeah, he was the first one to do it. Yeah, so I'm not looking forward to this. Let's move on.
Well,
Borat
I
2.
wanted to take that in a
Go
different
ahead.
direction. Speaking of Jim Henson, did you watch the Dark Crystal stuff on Netflix?
Show.
Yeah.
No, I haven't, but I am interested in
Have
watching
you
it. I
seen
have
the
it on my
original Dark
list.
Crystal?
Nope.
Watch the original Dark Crystal first, and then watch the show.
Why is that? Is it a sequel?
Because the original Dark Crystal is, yeah, well, it's a prequel, but like the show is a prequel to the movie, but it's just kind of crazy that it's a Jim Henson movie, because the original script called for no dialogue whatsoever that was in English. Like, it was just a made-up language that everybody was speaking, and there were no subtitles. So basically,
Oh,
the entire film followed like these little animal people, and you had no idea what was going on. You were supposed to just understand what was going on through like their emotions and stuff.
was
But
Jim Henson on drugs? Is
he
was he
was
like a drug addict? Because
no,
that sounds pretty crazy. That
yeah,
sounds
uh,
honestly. I mean, obviously, I'm not trying to like disrespect him. I'm
yeah.
joking, but like that sounds insane. And like, he's like, yeah, let's make a movie completely made up language. No one knows what they're saying. There's no subtitles, and go.
Now remind
I can
it
I
was
can
supposed to be
see
a
why.
kids movie, so it's like
Yeah, I can see why people weren't behind that back in the day. That's
yeah.
yeah,
I
that's
can see how
that's
the
wild.
studio was like, this will literally make us no money. We're not doing that.
Yeah.
Like, but I love the Dark Crystal. That's all I have to say about it. Like, to go watch The Dark Crystal and then Age of Resistance, because Age of Resistance has the best like what, puppets ever. Like, it is
Mm.
crazy how good it looks. But
Earlier when I was talking about the cinematic universe, I meant Dark Crystal and the Witches, not Labyrinth, because I feel like Dark Crystal is more like child fantasy, weird horror-ish,
all I know
more
is
than like Labyrinth.
it was supposed to get a season 2, but it got canceled. So
Really?
yeah,
Oh wow. Okay. Huh. That's kind of disappointing.
yeah, but I don't. I think that might have been because of the pandemic more than anything else.
Hmm. I mean, and also Netflix can just kind of do whatever they want,
Yeah.
cancel everyone's favorite shows at the drop of a hat. Speaking of favorite shows,
Yes.
there's no segue here.
Oh.
Borat, Borat 2.
Oh yeah, Borat,
Uh,
my favorite show.
yeah, favorite show.
Have you seen
What
the
did you think
first
of it?
one?
I haven't seen the first one.
I haven't seen the first
This
one. Oh.
oh, so we should probably just move on. But no, but this trailer, I don't know, it kind of makes me want to watch it.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard nothing but good things about the Borat film, and
Right.
I assume that his brand of comedy is something that I'd be very interested in. So, because I did see the news article where he like interrupted the Mike Pence press
Oh,
conference dressed with the Donald Trump skin suit on or whatever. Like
yeah.
that's pretty
I didn't see that
that's pretty
article,
good.
but I do know that I believe he does he did or does a show, maybe for Showtime, where he like went in disguises and talked to like a whole bunch of politicians and
Yeah,
actually got long interviews with them.
I did
You
see
know what I'm
that,
talking
and yeah, and then he got like one to admit something bad, like something
about?
really bad.
Right. Yeah.
Um, yeah, no, he seems like the he has the comedy that I am into. I just never got around to watching it. I don't know, but
I think it's also very like topical.
yeah, well, obviously it's like South Park. I mean, it's not like
So
South
I'm
Park,
like,
but
I don't know if, I guess what I was trying to say is, I don't know if watching Borat now would have any, if it would have the same effect as watching it back in the day.
yeah, definitely. I mean,
But I am looking forward to watching this one.
yeah,
I think I'm actually going to watch it when it comes out.
Borat's gonna come to your house and beat you up because you didn't watch it in 2006.
I like how in the trailer he's dressed as Borat, and then someone like actually on the street recognized him, and he was like running away.
Yeah, because they filmed it in secret.
Right? Yeah, 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 yeah.
hmm I don't know. I guess I'm excited for that.
Are
Uh,
you gonna watch the first one before you watch this one?
I don't know if I need to, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know if I need to. I probably won't watch the first one. I'll just go straight into this one.
We are not
But
sponsored by whoever
I am
produced the
gonna watch
first
this
one.
one. We are not sponsored by Borat. I mean, Sasha Baron Cohen. Let's move on to the True Adventures of Wolf Boy.
Now, this looks really interesting. I'd never heard of this before this week after I saw the trailer, but like, what a out of nowhere movie. This I think this is like a year old. I think and
Mm-hmm.
it's a coming of age film, and he's got the I don't know what the disease is called, or I don't know if it's a disease. You know what I mean? Where
I know
people
what you mean.
where the people grow hair everywhere, and I think that that's a really interesting premise.
Yeah, I this movie. Well, the trailer looks good. It
Yeah,
looks like something that I would enjoy. Nice little coming of age movie, just like another movie trailer that we're going to talk about later. But yeah, this is
we
I don't
already
know.
talked about that
Yeah,
before. At
I didn't. This is something I didn't see coming, but I definitely am going to put on my watch list now.
mhm.
I think it's interesting that the writer of this movie wrote episodes of Preacher and Legion, and
Sound like good movies.
those are the only credits that they have.
Do you think Wolf Boy turns out to be the Beast from X-Men? And that's where this is going.
I hope not, but I think that this just shows the person's range who was writing this.
I can't ever imagine like seriously writing a movie or a show or anything. I feel like that's a monumental task that I would screw up immediately.
It is a monumental task. It's very difficult, very very difficult.
If any screenwriters want to get hired to write mine and Steven's short film, hit us up at
And
the comic
off top
section.
movie topic, off topic movie pod at gmail.com. I
No,
mean
now we gotta
Hotmail.
go
I
make
mean
that.
AOL.
Yeah, what's an old one? AOL.
Make a AOL. I guarantee you that one's not taken on AOL.
Well, grandma might have it, dude. Grandmas love AOL, but that's a meme. I don't know. I don't know if old people. I know they still make a lot of money off of old people paying for AOL, but it's like I don't think a lot of old people are like I need to pay for AOL. But anyway, uh, what's our next? Echo Boomer.
Do you want to talk about Echo Boomers? I don't really have anything to say about it other than
I'm gonna
I'm not gonna
say
watch this
that
movie.
I don't think that Michael Shannon is an Echo Boomer, and that I didn't know that Echo Boomer was for millennials.
I did not know that
I've
either.
never been
You
called
just
an
told
Echo
me.
Boomer before. Uh, this is not an Echo Boomer podcast. This is not an Echo Boomer fan cast because this is the only movie we're ever going to talk about from now on until its release in November. Um, did they just call us Echo Boomers because they're like we need to call them Boomers too? Like okay,
I've
why
never
why
heard of
Echo
that
Boomer?
before.
Why Echo Boomer?
I don't know
Do they think we
what
act like Boomers?
Echo. What? But I don't. Yeah, I don't get that. I don't get
Anyway,
that, and I
apparently,
don't. I don't like how it's made by Saban Films. So I'll just say that as well.
apparently it's based on a true story, about us Echo Boomers robbing people in Chicago. Michael Shannon is the oldest Echo Boomer I've ever seen. Um, that's all. It doesn't look that interesting, honestly. I don't know, man. Who Seth Savoy? What has he directed? I think he
Uh,
directed. Uh, he's directed something else that's about millennials, dude. So that he seems
so
like
he
the
just
type of
hates
dude.
millennials.
I don't know if he hates them. I think it was beyond something.
Beyond the Bridge.
That's not about millennials.
I was gonna say that's a World War II
Yeah,
short film.
yeah, but I think he directed that. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking of someone else. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't think this is gonna be good.
No,
So
I'm not looking forward to this. Don't want to talk about it anymore
you're
because
telling
I'm not gonna
me
see it.
the Dark Crystal Age of Resistance got canceled for this? No.
Basically.
Uh,
Let's move on to our next one.
Menara? Is that how you
Sure.
pronounce it?
I
I
was
don't want to
dramatically
butcher.
pausing, so you said it.
Yeah, I know. That's uh
You're welcome.
I was gonna say that Korean films are always amazing, but I think
You
this is an
said
American film.
I was gonna say you said Menara, which is like menorah. I don't know
I
what
don't know.
that
I said it in the
is.
most American way possible. So
Yes, you did.
Menara.
I'd like I like I like this trailer. I,
Yeah,
I want to watch this immediately. I wish
this
that was
got raving reviews at Sundance. So
and it's an A24 movie where
hmm
it's being distributed by A24. It has Stephen Yeun in it. Every movie that I've seen him in is good.
The
I
Walking
think
Dead got bad after he died.
I think yeah. I think every I think every project that I've seen him in I
He
like.
knows how to pick movies.
Yeah. He did Sorry to Bother You. He did
That's it.
Okja.
Oh.
No, he did Mayhem. I liked all of those movies. So
Yeah,
maybe I should. Maybe I
He
should check out his work more. Like keep a
he
close eye on it.
he's done some voice acting too and stuff I haven't seen.
Yeah, he does a lot of voice acting.
He
Let's
did
see.
Origins.
He did do Origins.
Good movie, another good movie. He's in pretty dramatic stuff. He's done a lot of TV shows too.
Yeah,
But yeah,
so
no,
he's
he's fantastic. He's good in everything. Like even if it's like The Walking Dead or whatever, he's good in it.
right.
He was good in his episode of Twilight Zone. He was in. He's just a fantastic
He
actor.
was that good or was he just good in it?
He was good in it. I don't think I didn't really like Jordan Peele's Twilight Zone reboot.
Okay. Hmm.
Didn't the second season come out this summer?
I think so. And everyone says that all of his TV productions are just bad, which is upsetting.
I don't know, but yeah, I'm excited. Well, if we want to talk about Korean film for a minute,
Let's do it.
Hollywood is considered the movie capital of the world, but in some ways, Korean film is just eons ahead of American films. Like I know the movie we're talking about is an American film, but obviously it's like based around a Korean family and they speak Korean and stuff. Um, it's just there's so many overlooked good Korean films. Parasite, for one, won Best Picture, but I can guarantee you almost nobody has seen Parasite.
I think people saw Parasite after it got an Oscar,
Hmm.
and everyone was annoying other people to watch Parasite. Like I, for one, was telling everyone that I thought would actually watch it and be okay with subtitles. I told everyone that I knew to
Here's one.
watch it, but I think that is the only one, though. I think it stops there unless there's some kind of other buzz about it. Like, I mean,
Old
Train to
Boy.
Busan.
Train to
That
Busan's
is
good.
Train to Busan. That and Parasite. That's probably where they're just like, okay, I'm not gonna watch anymore unless they are at that kind of level where they, yeah, yeah, where they're at that kind of level. Like Train to Busan and Parasite are both tens, and I think for most people who watch them, they will think that they are good movies, but people don't want to take a chance on foreign movies where they have to read subtitles unless
I hate that.
there's no risk for that. Unless there's no risk and they know it's going to be good.
There's so many Asian films that people miss out on because they don't read subtitles. But
Well,
there are just so many good Korean films that nobody's ever heard of besides in Korea. Like maybe they were huge across Asia, but in America, they're just non-existent in culture basically. Like Mr. Sassy Girl for one is a fantastic romance movie that nobody's ever seen. Nobody's ever seen. I said Mr. Sassy Girl. I meant My Sassy Girl. But that's a 2 decade old movie. There's Save the Green Planet. There's Old Boy, which I think some people have seen that because of the remake. There's Three Iron, which is one of the best looking films I've seen. I don't know. I just hate that. Like they're a powerhouse in the film industry, but nobody in America watches Korean films. It's just crazy to me. There's even that Korean zombie show on Netflix that was good. I can't remember the name right now, but they're just Korean directors are fantastic, and I don't get it. I don't know.
this is your, instead of being like anti Disney like me, this is your this is your rant. This is your people should take action against this or people should do this. This is your
Because
Disney. This
someone,
is your this is your soapbox.
because I know a lot of like actual South Korean people. I've been to South Korea. I've seen the behind the scenes of how they film. It's just incredible. It's just I want to say no, Korea as a whole is an amazing country, but
North
it
Korea?
Yeah, dude. I love meeting Kim Jong Un and filming The Handmaiden with him, dude. Yeah. Uh,
I
Handmaiden's
think you
another one.
mean that you think. Yeah, I think you're thinking of The Interview,
Oh yeah.
which you were in.
I was thinking Taxi Driver. I was in the interview. Yeah, I played Seth Rogen's body double. Yeah, I don't know. Literally just go type in best Korean films on Google and like watch all of
Well, I
them.
think that you just gave people just a bunch of recommendations. I think people should check out Parasite, the Train to Busan. Those are my recommendations to get people invested
If
because
I,
I
am
think
I
those
am
are
I
the
giving just
most.
two recommendations?
Well, no. I mean, you already brought up My Sassy Girl and Save the Green Planet. So
Have you
I think
seen The
those are
Host?
right there.
You've seen The Host, right?
I have seen The Host. I didn't really like it that very much.
Yeah, I can understand why. It's definitely that's an acquired taste of a monster movie. Um, I don't know. I mean, there's hundreds of Korean films people need to watch, but what?
But there's a lot of Korean films that are being adapted or
Yeah,
have been remade, have had
yeah,
American
for us
remakes.
Americans,
Yeah,
like
like
Old
My
Boy.
Sassy Girl
Yeah,
and Old Boy and Train to Busan is supposedly going to get one,
Train to Busan got a
and
sequel too, didn't it?
it did,
Mm,
yes, and it already had a prequel like that came out the same year by the same
really?
director, but it
Mm.
was anime, and
Uh,
then
yeah, you've never seen it then.
no, I tried to watch it, uh, and Save the Green Planet is going to be I don't know if it's going to be remade or not. I think yeah, I think it's going to be remade to an American movie,
Mm.
and Ari Aster is is the um, is a producer on that. So that is interesting itself. That Ari
Also,
Aster
we're
is
we're a pretty horror centric podcast, I'd say.
yes.
Korean horror films are extremely scary, but that's all I'll say about that. Go watch some Korean horror films. They're so good. Make sure they're
What's
action.
one
Uh,
off the top of your head?
I saw the devil.
Hmm.
You should definitely watch that on Halloween.
I think I have watched that.
Hmm. Most people wouldn't call it a horror, but I'd call it a horror. It's super violent.
I wouldn't
It's
call that
it's
horror.
it's the one it's the one horror film. What was that? What was the film we talked about earlier that you were like from 1983?
You talking about angst?
Angst. It's the angst of our time, where everybody calls it really violent.
But this is more stylized, and there's more
Yeah,
of a
yeah.
reason for it.
Hmm.
Yeah, I didn't dig I Saw the Devil that much. Sad to say.
Yeah. Maybe you just like Korean films. Maybe you're the problem. No.
No, I like Korean films. I like some of them. I like the good ones.
Speaking of scary movies, uh, I hear a lot of people say that like the true crime documentaries that are on Netflix are scary. Do you ever find stuff like that scary?
I sometimes do. Sometimes I do, but I often don't. I Something else that I watched this week with Morgan is I think it's called An American Murder, the the family next door or something like that.
Yeah,
It's
I've
filmed
heard of that.
completely through like screen recordings and archival footage. There's no like interviews or anything that weren't done at the time of what happened, which I think is very interesting. It kept my attention enough. A lot of people I read some reviews that were like, this is all something like anyone could have put together, and like off of like stuff that's on YouTube or stuff from the police, this isn't interesting. And I was like, no, I think that makes it more interesting that
Yeah.
they didn't do any more. Like, this is filmmaking. Like, I
Hmm.
love different shit like this. This is like peak filmmaking to me because it's like this, like the Blair Witch Project and like Paranormal Activity and like Host, which came out recently, and like like searching. Like this is innovative filmmaking. Either the like the behind the scenes for it is interesting to me, like everything that went into the production of it all, but then like the fact that they actually did something with the interesting premise or concept that was used, and they actually made it into a good movie. It's like it's I don't know. I would definitely check it out. It's and also the point is that to the original question, you asked me if I thought it was interesting or scary,
Hmm.
and Morgan thinks a lot of the shows or crime dramas or crime mysteries that are based off of true events that we watch, like the docs, she finds them scary, and she's like, "Oh my god, like I'm scared of murderers now," and I'm
I'm
like,
too. I'm afraid of
"Murderers are
murderers.
everywhere."
Uh,
I mean, yeah, so it's sometimes it's scary for me, and then uh, I feel like most of the time it's not, but they do they do a lot of them well, and like this it's a very good one to watch. So I would
here,
check that out. I didn't
here,
mention that in the what I watched this week segment.
here's one thing people don't understand: that making movies is very hard, and that
Yeah,
making a documentary, as someone who's for a class making literally just a 10-minute documentary, documentaries are really hard to make. Like like with a movie, you can take as long as you want to get the shot you want. With a documentary, you have one take most of the time to get this stuff done.
right.
So you a documentary, you could screw this up at any moment. You get bad sound on a take of a movie that you're filming, you just redo it. You get bad sound in the interview, good luck getting like a re-interview with these people. Like
Right.
you a documentary, you just have to get everything right on the first try. Making documentaries is hard. I like
Yeah.
I literally have to ask Steven for help on mine, and I'm working with two other people, and it's like it's just it's so difficult to get
I'm
everything
not
done.
I'm not even gonna get any credit on the
Yeah, you
end
are.
credits
I'll
either.
give you.
So
I said I'd give you directing credit.
I did not remember that. And
I will literally on the YouTube video version of my movie of this movie, I will give you directing credit.
well, I don't
But
know if
on
I'll
the one that's shown in class, I can't give you directing credit because you weren't in.
see. I'm a ghost director. You hear
Yeah,
that, Mom?
and
I'm doing
I'm making
stuff,
you film
whether
your
it
own
seems like it or
scenes.
not.
I'm making you film your own scenes.
Yeah.
You'll
Um.
you'll definitely be in the special thanks category as a cinematographer.
I don't know if I want that credit because what if it's bad? But anyway,
You're
moving on.
filming it yourself.
No, I meant the rest of it. I
Oh,
meant the rest of it. Uh, what else? What were? Oh, there's another trailer
yes.
for Spell. Did you watch that?
Yes, I wanted to say I was thinking about it the entire time. I wanted to say it during while I was watching it, but I didn't. It's basically it feels uh um like a Jordan Peele movie kind of. Like it seems like the type of thing he would direct, like a mainly black cast, that type of atmosphere. I'm getting that.
Yeah, I can see that off of like the trailer, but I feel like the actual movie won't be like that.
Yeah, I think the actual
It's
movie
kind
will end up being uh more slasher like than that trailer gives off.
yeah, it doesn't seem like it has a lot to say, like Jordan Peele likes to say, like Jordan
Voodoo
Peele
is
likes to
bad.
do. Yeah. But
Voodoo be bad.
this seems like a small horror uh voodoo misery movie, like an out of like a movie like Stephen King's Misery.
Sounds like my life. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm interested in watching this, and I sadly I looked up the director, and he hasn't done a lot of things
That
that
doesn't mean it's not gonna be good.
are critically acclaimed. Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, no, I'm gonna give this a shot. I'm gonna give this a shot.
Hey, even if he only strikes that lightning once, oh, he directed Data Dead Bloodline. This is probably not gonna be good. Never mind.
So let's move on. Let's talk about The Place of No Words. What'd you think of that trailer?
I can't remember the trailer off the top of my head. That's the problem. The Place of No Words. Was that the why can I not remember anything about this trailer? Oh, that's it's about like their imagination and stuff, right?
Yeah, it kind of
Uh-huh.
looks like Where the Wild Things Are. The
Yeah. Directed by
Spike Jones.
no, I meant the director
Oh,
of
this
this
movie?
movie. Yeah, this is
Mark
directed by the
Webber, I
guy
think.
from Snow Day. He
What?
was he was the
Someday.
brother in Snow Day.
Oh, yeah. He's an actor. Yeah, he's an actor.
Yeah.
He was in A Pilgrim versus the World too.
Yeah. He was funny in that, so maybe this will be funny. I don't
I
know.
was gonna say it doesn't look funny.
He
You
was in
think
Green Room.
what do you he was in Green Room. He was excellent in Green Room. Green Room's a good movie. Everyone should watch Green Room. If they well, I don't I take that back. Not everyone should watch Green Room. So are you interested in watching this? I mean, you don't remember the trailer, so probably not.
Yeah, I remember now. I was just blinking. It's yeah, this actually looks interesting. Reminds me of Life is Strange, surprisingly enough. The video game Life is Strange 2, where it very like I think that it's a super interesting premise for a movie where it's based off the person's imagination. Like that seems like something I would be super interested in. I don't know, because there's a lot of ways you could take that, even though it doesn't really make sense in the context of anything. But I'm excited for this. I'd never heard of it before this, and then I saw the troll for the split second in the movie, and I was in.
Yeah, it looks kind of like I don't know. It looks like an actual puppet or like a
Yeah,
suit or something. So
yeah,
that's cool.
yeah. I'm excited for this now. Comes out soon this month.
Soon, yeah,
Uh,
soon. I think it is this month.
October
But
23rd.
so yeah, make sure you check that out.
Directed by the Snow Day guy from the hit film Snow Day. Speaking of, what?
Speaking of snow,
I was gonna say, speaking of movie, like kids comedy films, like what happened to films like that? Bring them back.
like the Nickelodeon movies that,
Yeah. Big
that
Fat
are good.
Liar.
Big Fat Liar. Wow.
Uh, that's all I can think
Well,
of.
that's what happened to him. Big Fat Liar happened to him. I don't know.
Big Fat Liar
Like,
wasn't the worst.
no, it wasn't the worst.
Making you nasty.
As
Okay.
a kid, I think Big Fat Liar is directed by the one of the producers of Stranger Things, and he made like Night at the Museum too.
He
Sean
directed.
Levy.
He directed something in Stranger Things, I think.
Yeah.
Hmm. He also directed a remake of Starman. Okay, that's weird.
Yeah, it's interesting that he has a
You didn't
he's
get the
a
you didn't get the reference that I was going for there. Starman, directed by John Carpenter.
did he make a remake of it?
He's making a remake of that. I was wondering if
Oh,
you'd
I
ever
didn't know
seen
that.
Starman. It's
No, I've heard of Starman. I haven't seen Starman though.
good. John Carpenter. John Carpenter directed a romantic science fiction movie. So
It's good.
yeah,
All right.
that's all I have to say about that, dude.
Let's talk about some delays. No Time to Die. It's coming out never. It's coming out
It's
Easter
literally
of next
never
year.
coming out. No time to show, basically. It'll be straight to DVD by the time I actually see it. I'm excited for the movie, but is it ever coming out? Is anything ever coming out?
Well, I think that they were holding out like this date. I thought No Time to Die was going to be like the next big blockbuster that was going to come out. Like, and I think it was going to come out in like November or something, or October
Well, it
sometime.
was
But
already supposed to
then
be out.
obviously they moved it. Right, but then like they pushed it back.
Huh,
And
no,
then
maybe
Fast 9 moved to Memorial Day weekend of
because
next
of
year
No Time to Die.
because of No Time to Die. And then Stranger Things 4 is now filming after
A big delay.
a big delay. What's the big delay from?
I don't know off the top of my head. But you know what's
All
weird?
right.
The highest
What?
grossing movie of this year is Bad Boys for Life. You know what the second
Huh.
highest grossing movie this year is?
Hocus Pocus.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Ooh, Jim Carrey's making money again. Oh yeah, and he's gonna be on, or he was on SNL. Did that happen
Mhm.
already?
Yeah, I think he has like a reoccurring role on SNL.
Yeah, it's Joe Biden. But did that
Mm-hmm.
happen already? Did that already start, or is that
It was
next week?
today, wasn't it?
Oh right, yeah, it is technically Sunday now.
Um, Speaking of highest grossing films of 2020, can you guess the eighth film on the list?
Hocus Pocus.
Tenet. And
Ooh,
Tenet only made $41 million. These are domestic box office gross, by the way. But Tenet has only made $41 million domestically.
ooh,
It's made something like 284 mil worldwide, but you know, that's uh that's
that's a
crazy.
that's a big burn.
Yeah.
I see why most movies are running away from coming out right now.
Wonder which Mulan made.
Uh, yeah, I feel like they don't want to say that
Yeah,
because
well,
of how it how it probably how much it probably flopped basically is what
here's
I'm
what
trying
I'm
to
gonna
say.
say. I think that Mulan would have done better if they had just made it free on Disney Plus. I think they would have gotten way more Disney Plus subscriptions
Hmm.
instead of charging $30 for it.
Probably that is probably true.
Why are people buying Disney Plus? The Mandalorian, and that's all I can think of off the top of my head, and the Marvel shows.
No, people have kids, so they're
Prove
buying
it.
it for their kids too. They want to plop them in front of the television and make them watch
Well, cartoon Mulan's on
Lion
there.
King and Lion King 2 and Mulan and
Yeah,
all of the movies that
live
they grew up on.
action,
That's
live
what people
action
do.
Lion King is getting a sequel. What does that mean?
I don't like
No,
that. I don't like that. I
is
mean,
it?
there's Lion King 2, isn't there?
Yeah,
Of the
but is it a
animation?
Lion King 2 remake, or is it like
Who knows? Who cares? Everyone's gonna go see it.
me?
It's
I
gonna make a lot of
care because
money.
I don't understand. I'm so
I'll tell you what I
confused.
don't like, Jordan. I don't like that Barry Jenkins is going to be directing The Lion King 2 because he makes good movies. He directed Moonlight, like won Oscars, and now he's doing The Lion King 2.
You're right. He should be directing
Ugh.
Lion King 1.5, honestly.
I don't understand this. I mean, I understand it's gonna make him a lot of money, and he might like be connected to the story.
Well, what?
And who
Yeah.
knows?
What if it?
This might fall
What
apart.
if this is not the Lion King 2 remake, but it's the Lion King 2?
Well, no, I thought that it had something to do with Mufasa. I thought the news story was like it's like a Mufasa spinoff or something like that.
Which one's Mufasa?
He's James Earl Jones.
Oh, he's the dad. Bring back
Yeah.
Timon and Pumbaa show on Disney Channel.
Well, it's on Disney Plus if you want to watch that.
I absolutely will not because that show was terrible.
Well, yes, but also the side note, the best movie or spinoff show that was made by Disney was the Emperor's New Groove
Absolutely.
show. Yeah, that was
Maybe
great.
not, actually, now that I think about it. Buzz Lightyear got his own show. You remember that? Buzz Lightyear Star
No, I don't.
Command? You don't? Hmm.
No,
Maybe
probably
go
because it's
watch
bad.
that on Disney Plus, dude.
But
Huh?
anyway, the Lion King follow up, they're calling it a Lion King follow up. They're not calling it a. They're not calling it
It is
a
absolutely,
sequel.
if it's a sequel, it has nothing to do with the original Lion King 2, which my girlfriend swears is better than the first Lion King, but she only watches it in Swedish, so maybe it is. I don't know.
Like I say, she's probably a nutcase.
All right, dude. Ouch.
Well, she said the Lion King 2 is better than Lion King.
She thinks that the songs in The Lion King 1 and 2 are better in Swedish. I have listened to them in Swedish. They're okay, but I don't know that they're better. Uh,
Hmm.
we need to let's start the Swedish American War.
I don't think Swedish people want anything to do with America, let alone a war.
Swedish people love Americans. Don't ask me why.
So why you're dating someone that's Swedish?
It's the only thing I could get. No, I love her. Belinda,
You
if
gotta
you're
keep this in the.
listening, you're the
You gotta
best.
keep this in there though. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I keep it in.
Way to say it. Way to save yourself.
Belinda is an amazing girlfriend and an amazing person, even though she beats up her dog. So don't worry about it. Moving
No, the
on.
Swedish police, if they have police over there, who knows?
They do.
Are they don't probably, and they're knocking on her door, taking away the dog.
Doubt.
They're definitely not shooting her because they probably don't have guns in Sweden.
They're gonna.
I just imagine Sweden is like a just some utopia. There's like no guns. There's no fighting. There's like no one kills each other. It's just all peace. Everyone just does whatever they want.
You say no one kills each
No
other,
one's
but
racist.
like a year ago or something, she was telling me about how they'd finally found a girl's head from a murder. So I think they.
Well, that was the one murder that's happened in like 100 years in Sweden. You don't know that.
Are you
So
Swedish, like archaeologist or something?
I'm a
What did
Swedish
you major in?
historian. Swedish history.
Oh my god, that doesn't sound real.
Sweet history.
What Swedish films do you know?
Name some. I don't know.
Off the top of my head, Swedish films?
Yeah, you're the one with a Swedish girlfriend. I've been to Sweden and all this kind of crap. And then you're putting the spotlight on me to name Swedish films.
I don't know if I've ever said I've been to Sweden, but Swedish films, off the top of my head, she hasn't ever recommended me any. I've watched some Swedish shows.
That's odd.
Um, I know a pretty famous Swedish movie is Songs from the Second Floor, which is like a. I, besides
Let the
that,
right one in.
yeah,
Let
I
the
was
right
gonna
one
say let the
in.
right one in.
I see. Okay.
That's Swedish, right? I'm sure it is.
The original girl who
Lived like Harry Potter. No.
with the girl with the dragon tattoo. That's Swedish. I haven't seen that, but I heard that was very graphic.
Swedish
I
people
feel
love
like
their
from
graphics.
what I hear, people Sweden doesn't like they give like tax incentives and like their films are made through the government, so they really only do like dramas and stuff like that. They don't do like genre.
They're like, we don't want your damn comedy. Make it a drama.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
um, there's that one movie that was on Netflix uh, that took place in Sweden. That's a Swedish movie.
What is that?
Uh, I can't remember the exact name, but it's like they get the it's like a flashback. The guy gets killed in the store in England, and the guy didn't help him or whatever with the bottle. This is a terrible explanation. I
I was
don't
gonna say, I have no idea what you're talking about, so we should just move on. This should probably be our last news story. Jamie Foxx is coming back as Electro in Tom Holland's Spider-Man 3 movie.
know.
How is that gonna happen, and why is that gonna happen? Is
Well,
this their attempt at the multiverse?
I don't think it's that. Well, it might actually be that, but I was thinking more like they brought back J. Jonah Jameson. They brought back what's his face, J.K. Simmons is him. I almost said J.K. Rowling. Uh, and I thought I heard somewhere that it was the same person, which doesn't make any sense.
What do you mean the same person?
Like it was the same
J. Jonah
J. Jonah
is
Jameson, yeah, but
in.
I think that might have been wrong
It's
because
supposed to be like the same universe.
yeah, which doesn't make
It's
any
not
sense.
explained in the movie. Yeah, no, I wouldn't.
So
I
I'm
wouldn't count that as
thinking,
canon.
yeah, I'm thinking that they just want that actor back as that character because they want to improve it or whatever. Like I think it could be multiverse, but it might just be we liked him as Electro, so let's bring him back as like a different type of Electro.
I feel like Jamie Foxx probably just. I don't know. Maybe the director John Watt wanted him to come back because he thought that he could improve what he did, and he wanted to work with Jamie Foxx or something.
Hmm.
Or maybe Jamie Foxx was like, "Hey, please let me redeem myself."
Well, I don't think he was necessarily bad in that movie. I just think that was a bad movie overall. Like he,
A lot
what
of people don't like his performance or
I,
his
I,
character.
I like that
I
wasn't a
should
good
say.
interpretation of Electro. It was just weird. He's not white. No, I'm kidding. But I sound like a proud boy, dude. I don't know. I think he did a with what he had. He did a pretty good job. I don't like he was like like Jamie Foxx is like a ripped dude. He doesn't play the nerdy character very well. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I
Have you seen The Amazing Spider-Man 2?
I I have. I don't remember it very much. I mean, very well.
I'm also gonna say that don't give him blue skin. Like Electro wears a costume. Like just give him a costume. I don't know because I
I
read
mean,
some.
I'm
uh,
I I want to see what they do with his character and what they do with him.
I don't think he'll be anything like he was in uh, Amazing Spider-Man 2. I
You
think
don't think
that
so? Okay.
no, I think he'll be more in like how they do in the MCU, where they give them like more authentic costumes or more authentic to their actual comic book
Like
origin.
Mysterio.
Yeah,
Okay.
like Mysterio worked because they is
And
basically
they had Jake Gyllenhaal, so of course it would
yeah.
work.
Well, I was saying like his design wise, he worked because his costume made sense for the way he fought. Because he like he put the helmet on to control the drones or whatever, and I think they'll do the same thing as Electro. Like his costume is like tech based. Like oh, I can shoot lightning out of my hands because uh, I don't know. I think the MCU will just do it better as they normally do, even if Steven hates the MCU.
Mm.
They do a good job of making comic book movies.
We shall see. We shall see. They'll probably do it well, and everyone will be like, "Oh my gosh, I completely forgot about Amazing Spider-Man 2," and
How could
blah
you
blah blah.
forget?
People will love it. People will love it. It'll be okay.
Here's a
It'll be
funny
all
thing.
right.
If you type Electro Spider-Man into Google, there are only two people that come up: Jamie Foxx in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, and Aaron Brink in the Spider-Man Triple X, a porn parody. So, you know,
And that's where we should end the podcast.
there's nothing
Right
else you want to
there.
talk about.
No, I think that's it. That's the perfect way to end it.
All
Right
right,
there.
uh, go watch The Amazing Spider-Man 2. It's Steven's favorite movie. Thanks for
I thought you were gonna mention the porn parody.
no. Oh my god.
Well, yes. So let's end it. Make sure you come back next week.